we're less than 24 hours away from that NBA trade deadline. So let's take a look, Coach, since you said it felt like it was today, at what things are looking like now. Because when we all woke up on Tuesday morning, this is what the league looked like, right? Jaren Jackson Jr. was in Memphis. Darius Garland was in Cleveland. Well, now, Jaren Jackson Jr. is headed to Utah. An all-star guard swap happened between Darius Garland and James Harden. The former MVP is headed to Cleveland. That's for you. And 1 year after arriving in Dallas, Anthony Davis, he's a Wizard, Harry. He is a member of the Washington Wizards. And the champs, they made a move. They traded for Jared McCain. But Kenny, you want to focus in on the Cleveland Cavaliers here, my friend.
Yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers, because early on when they made the trade for Dennis Schroeder, people were like, why is that happening? But also, now when you have James Harden, so all of a sudden, you replace James Harden with Darius Garland. And so all of a sudden now you have the lob threat that you have before, because he is one of the best lob throwers, James Harden, in the game. Now you have Donovan Mitchell, who gets double-teamed. You cannot double-team him anymore, because all of a sudden now if you double-team him, and they're going to leave James Harden open, and he's going to also have another lob threat with Allen, and Tyson is probably playing his best basketball ever. And then, which is really interesting, when Schroeder comes into the game, you think he's going to replace Harden? No, take out Mitchell. And now you run the point, and you let James Harden run the two, and then all of a sudden you have a guy running the two that is accustomed to shooting on the catch and shoot. So now you have multiple options and multiple things. You start bringing in all of these guys, and you can just bring in anybody, and you can replace. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have improved their offensive prowess, without a doubt, with James Harden. Now, as good as Darius Garland is, at this point in his career, James Harden is still a more electric and powerful player.
And the fact of the matter is, he's more available, Brian.
Yeah, look, James Harden is 10 years older, but he's played in a lot more games, and these decisions were really made to maximize the next 2 years. They want to maximize Donovan Mitchell. They got to get him into a contract extension later this summer. And I think the other thing is, they want to be able to give Donovan some protection around him. That's what this trade with Sacramento was about. The Jet talked there about Dennis Schroeder. That's also to help out Donovan, because he was playing a lot of point guard because Garland was missing so many games. And then Keon Ellis serves as a defender who can take some defensive pressure off both Harden and Donovan.
Well, this is the biggest thing, too, is that Donovan Mitchell's never gotten out of the second round. So they looked at a disappointing season so far in Cleveland. They needed help.
Right.
And this does speed up their window, but I'm with Kenny, I'm with Perk. I think adding James Harden, bigger, more durable. He can play lob game when Donovan Mitchell's out with Allen or Mobley. I think it's an outstanding pickup, and I think Cleveland just moved up the Eastern Conference.
Donovan Mitchell is on the clock. Donovan Mitchell is on the clock. I'm watching Cleveland do more and be more aggressive at trade deadlines and offseason than they were for LeBron James. Real talk. When it comes to putting him in position to be successful.
Well, they learned because LeBron left. They don't want Donovan to leave.
I understand that part, Wendy, but what I'm telling you is now you have a shooting guard and that's still averaging 25, a guy to set the table. And I hear a lot of people out there talking about James Harden, he folds in the playoffs. Look, he's the third option on this team. To Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. All you need for James Harden to do is to win you one playoff game each series.
Well, you know what?
He could do that.
And everybody says, well, are they going to fit together? If they're going to fit, he's fit with KD, he's fit with Kyrie, he's fit with Joel Embiid, Chris Paul, and Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers. James Harden is looking for somebody. He just said, I want to win a championship.
James Harden may not do great in Game 7s, but he knows how to change teams midseason. He's got a lot of experience doing that.
Well, and he's been very clear about what he wants to do here. He wants to win. He came out and said it to our Ramona Shelburne that his goal is to win a championship, and he sees Cleveland having an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, he put himself in position.
Yeah, he did, and he's good at that. That's the moves that have happened. Perk, what's the move that everyone's waiting on that has not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the Giannis domino has yet to fall, and I'm sure y'all saw this, but just in case, he spoke to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and he had this to say in part, quote, "If you ask me, what do I really want? Deep down in my heart, Kenny," this is what he said. He said, "I want to be a Milwaukee Buck until I retire and win a championship here." He continued, If that is not possible to happen, and if then you maybe realize that that's not the case, and maybe they're looking somewhere else, and that's not what they're trying to do, talking about the Bucks, then automatically you have to be in the place of if plans of what they're trying to do or weigh other options. It's normal. And this is really fascinating. He said, I always listen and trust, but what I'm trying to say, how many chances do I have left to win a championship? So you've got to be more careful and more urgent in every decision that you make moving forward. Gentlemen, hold your thoughts. Let's welcome in the busiest man in the business, Shams Charania. Shams, Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, has the stances changed with these two, with these new comments here?
Malika, to put it plainly, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm told, has told the Bucks, communicated to the Bucks for a period of months now that he believes the time has come to part ways, and that has essentially forced the Bucks to listen to teams, to engage with teams, and remain in touch with teams here this week on the eve of the NBA trade deadline. That includes Miami, Minnesota, Golden State. But at the end of the day, general manager Jon Horst and Bucks ownership have to sift through the offers and land on the same page about the big question, whether to execute a trade now or push this to the offseason. Even tonight, just moments ago, I talked to several different sources around teams involved, and there are certainly questions about whether Milwaukee is serious and genuine about pulling a move of this magnitude for this franchise at the deadline. There are obvious risk rewards right now that Milwaukee has to sift through, whether they do it now or wait in the summer. If they wait in the summer, Giannis gets basically an expiring year on his deal. He's got 1 year left. That gives him a little bit more say-so, a little bit more equity in terms of where he wants to end up and land. And the other side is Milwaukee is likely more playing toward lottery positioning in the second half. And if Giannis wants to play in the second half, that is a direct conflict with goals with both sides. So this is certainly a situation, even if it goes past the deadline, to monitor.
Can you help me make sense of this? What we're hearing from Giannis, the reporting, it all seems to be sort of going back and forth here.
Well, he obviously is letting you know that it's what they, not what I. It's a lot of they. However, there's a certain amount of players that I look at that are magnets, meaning LeBron James was a magnet. Steph Curry's a magnet,
sure.
Meaning people want to play with
Wemby
them.
now.
Wemby.
Yeah.
So look, Giannis is a magnet. Even being in a small market like Milwaukee, Dame Lillard was ecstatic about going to Milwaukee. So now, when you put this position out, the Milwaukee Bucks are forced. There is no comeback because now you're saying that the magnet might not want to be here or not be here. So your free agency, even in the summer, you can't attract people when you don't know the magnet is going to be there. And so without Giannis, they have now put themselves in a position where I think they have to trade him. Because if you had also said, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we bring another guy in here with Giannis, their phone would have rang as well. So they have put themselves now, to me, in a position of trading him at some point.
Haven't the Bucks done that, though? Haven't the Bucks done literally every single move?
But you can continue to do that because he's such a great player. You can still bring someone in.
I think James
like that.
Harden needs to meet up with Giannis and teach Giannis how to ask for a trade. Nobody gets themselves traded like James Harden, and Giannis can't handle this. He just needs to be clear, and he has not been clear, and that has given the Bucks an out.
That's the biggest thing. Malika just read his comment, Perk. To me, that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I love Milwaukee, but I want to win. They're not going to win this year. So that's clear. I agree with what Kenny just said. He's got to find a new place to go play because Milwaukee, that's done. That's a wrap.
That's dead bird, tall grass. You're absolutely right. But here's why I disagree with you at, Wendy. Right now, this is on the Milwaukee Bucks. Somebody need to actually call the police.
How's that working?
Let me tell
Not
you.
working.
Hold on. Run an investigation because they holding the man hostage. The only reason that we have these reports right now is because Giannis is trying to be polite about this. He has went to those people behind closed doors and let it be known that he wants to be traded. Why are they not making the move?
Because he's not putting pressure on him. James Harden said, trade me. I'm not going to show up again to a game unless you trade me.
But that's not Giannis. Giannis.
And I'm saying that's what's led to this
But
situation.
Wendy, here's what I'm telling you. We're talking about a Giannis Antetokounmpo that was drafted, that came in and said, I want to win the MVP one day. I want to win a championship. Giannis actually cares about his legacy and cares about what people feel about him, and that organization knows that.
Well, back when he signed the contract extension and there was all this conversation about whether or not he was going to stay or not in Milwaukee, there was sort of an understanding that if he ever wanted to be traded, the Milwaukee Bucks would come to the table and do that. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but he also hasn't signed an extension. Kenny, Bobby says he wants his touchboard back. His
that's Bobby's touch. My bad.
Bobby Marks is saying that's
I would have DM'd you, brother, and asked you if I could get it. My bad.
Well, maybe